Hello, my name is Taylor. I'm a financial coach, and I want to help you make sure that you're setting up your budget for success for the new year. There's some things that you can do to optimize your budget and review everything that's went on for the prior year so that you can fix everything and set yourself up for success for the new year with new numbers, more accurate data, and a better plan overall to help you save more money and pay off debt. So whether you're starting your budgeting journey now or you've been budgeting all year and you're wanting to maybe take a fresh start and a fresh look at 2025, this video is for you. We're going to go over both strategies, whether you're just starting out or have been budgeting for the last year. And if you're just starting out, hey, no worries. This is a great time. I know it's a little difficult around the holidays to start a budget, but it's actually a fabulous time to get the data that you need to be prepared for the holidays for next year. So step one is really taking the time to document what is currently going on, especially during the holiday season. For a lot of people, this is the most expensive time of year. And so if you can take the opportunity to capture holiday-related expenses versus regular normal expenses, this will help you immensely as you plan your budget, your sinking funds for the new year. So really make sure you're utilizing, when you click on a transaction, utilizing either a category specifically for holidays and special occasions like I normally suggest having, or if you throw everything in shopping or gifts or whatever, you can also use tags to specify maybe this is a Christmas, Christmas of 2024, or specific holiday, Thanksgiving, whatever it is for you, and maybe even by person too. And maybe this is immediate family versus extended family. There's lots of tags that you could use to help you make sure that you're budgeting correctly for the new year. I'd also recommend budgeting for Black Friday gifts, Black Friday purchases, anything that you get around Black Friday. It could be a great reminder for next year so that you make sure you don't forget any of those really good deals that you normally stock up on around Black Friday. Make sure you use these tags. That way you can go back next year and say, hey, what did I buy for Black Friday? And is this the purchase that I want to try to make again? So tags and categories, and making sure you're utilizing the note feature to really give you some detail, because if you are seeing an increase in expenses, note why. Be mindful here so that you can, again, use this information to create your budget for the next year. Step two is utilizing the reporting feature in your budgeting app. So I'm going to be showing you Monarch Money today and the reporting capabilities there. But what you want to be doing is looking at the reports that you have and comparing it to the budget that you set initially. So if you have been budgeting all year, or if you're just starting your budget and you've been kind of dabbling with the numbers, you have probably set some intentions for spending, and it's time to review those intentions. So in Monarch, there's an area just for reporting that's super useful, that you can run reports on specific areas of spend. So of course you can see the full year in review just to see how you've been doing as far as your net income and your savings rate for that net income. But I'd also suggest running your reports on maybe just a category at a time or a group at a time. If you've been trying to budget a couple $1,000 for all food expenses, you're going to want to see how that ended up for you. How did that work out for you for this year? So in this case, we're doing a spend report, and I just did a report for just the food categories that I had to see what my usual spend was. So if you've been doing this for a whole year, you'll have lots of great data. If you started at a certain point of the year, you might just have a few months of data, but it's still worth looking at to say, hey, is the budget I set actually realistic? How did we do against the budget? And do we expect any changes next year? If we're not expecting changes next year, you want to set it to your average that you had last year, your new budget. You want to set it to your average. If you're expecting big changes, if something major happened, maybe a kid moved out, like those things that, change your food or consumption, then you're going to want to make sure to adjust the budget accordingly. But running reports on very specific areas, especially areas that you've been wanting to track and making sure that you've actually spent in those areas, are going to be really, really useful for you. And so make sure you run the reports. Really look at the data. That's the point of a budgeting app, is to look at the data to see how things are going. If you look at it only, on a month-to-month basis, you're not going to get the full picture. You want to look at a full year picture in order to get the most accurate data, because no month is going to be the same. Every month's going to be a little different. Every month is going to have different numbers, different different situations. And so getting the year picture is going to be so valuable to set yourself up for success in 2025. The next step is going to be reviewing those goals that you have. If you've set goals last year and you're still working on those goals, maybe you take a look at them, see if anything's changed, the timeline's changed, the dollar amount's changed. You want to make sure you review those goals. Or if you haven't set goals yet, make sure you set them. Make sure you set the intentional savings that you have for the new year. Whether it's savings into long-term investments like retirement or savings for a trip, these are things that you want to revisit. Look at what your travel it looks like this year and put that into that new number into your budget. Any big purchases, a car, a home, any larger purchases that you need to make sure that gets included in your new budget for the year. The next thing you're going to want to make sure you do is to review your sinking funds for the year. If you have sinking funds, I have a whole video on what sinking funds are, but I'll recap it here a little bit for you. These are things that are happening on a yearly basis. They're not really goals because they happen every year, like Christmas, holidays, birthdays, anniversaries. These are things that happen yearly. They're not really goals. They're not one-time goals. These are things that you need to plan for on a yearly basis, and they're not going to happen every month. They're expenses that are periodic and normally fairly large. And so we want to make sure that we are including them in the budget, and you're going to want to review your sinking funds to see, well, how did you do this year? Using those reporting features, maybe running that report on how much you spent on the holidays and making sure you update that number for yourself for your sinking funds. Or any regular travel that you do, fun expenses, kids, summer camps, tuition, extracurricular activities like their sign-up fees and all that stuff. Home, pets, like you can see all these areas. There's so many areas where we need to be making sure we're planning on the year basis, and these need to be included in your budget. There's a monthly average that you get that you need to be making sure you're setting aside so that you aren't blindsided. This is where most people tell me, every month's a little different, or last month was a little abnormal, and so don't look at it with the budget. Well, every month is a little abnormal, especially when you fill out this calendar. You're going to notice that every single month there's something weird going on that's going to throw off, and you're not really considering it in your monthly budget. If you want this spreadsheet, make sure you come and sign up for the workshops that I have coming up. We have a New Year workshop so that you can go through step by step all of these steps I'm talking about in these videos together to review your budget, review your reports, set your goals, review your sinking funds, and then readjust your budget for the new year. And you'll get access to this spreadsheet during that call as well as in future workshops. So if this is something that you're excited about implementing, make sure you attend. Click the link in the description of the video here. I've built a spreadsheet that supplements Monarch's Money's planning tool and any budgeting app's planning tool. A lot of budgeting apps have a hard time planning on a year basis, and this is the budgeting app I've created so that you can see a cash flow breakdown on a month-to-month basis and see where your heaviest months are, how your goals and your spending are going to affect your cash flow and balances. And so please make sure you join us for the workshops, link in the bio, so that you can attend and get this spreadsheet so that you can create a very successful budget for 2025. Your last step, as you've been reviewing everything, setting your new goals, reviewing your sinking funds, the last step you're going to have is to really get real about your variable spending. If this goes alongside the reporting, but if you're noticing that monthly average is much higher than what you've been budgeting, you need to really ask yourself, is anything really going to change this year, or is this data telling me what I should really be planning for? It is most likely it is telling you what you should really be planning for. And so unless you're making an active effort, I really think you need to set this to your average, especially if you've been budgeting all year, and especially if you've been trying to get it down to this dollar amount and it just hasn't worked. We're still at 618. You might need to be real with yourself. Either you're going to try something drastically different, or you need to reset your budget, and that is going to affect the amount you're able to set for your goals or extra debt payments. And so if you're okay with that trade-off, great. Otherwise, you again need to make some more drastic changes for the new year. So if you want to set yourself up for a fantastic, financially healthy new year, make sure you sign up for the program. If you've been using Monarch for a while and have been avoiding that budgeting section, you've been using it for the reports but not the budgeting, and you want to be using it for all the budgeting, or making sure you're using all the features again, join the program. Make sure you are signed up for the newsletter. You'll get access to invitations for the workshops, events, program, so that you can get access to the courses, the tools, and everything that you need to build a foundation that will work with any budgeting app, but especially Monarch Money. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. I've enjoyed making these YouTube videos for you all year so much, and I've appreciated your comments, the people who have signed up for calls, all my clients that have signed up because of finding me through this YouTube channel. It's been an incredible year for myself, but also for the people I've been working with, and I just couldn't be more thrilled. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for subscribing and joining us next year as we grow with our budgeting apps, grow with our financial health, and save more money. All right, so thank you so much.